Want some candy?
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Well, hello, Mr. Fancy Pants.
I hear you looking for candy, man, bitch.
Give me some sugar, baby. Like scary movies.
Uh-huh. Want some candy?
Yeah. Are you ready?
We're in.
All right. What's up, fuckers? That's right. It's Monster Candy Podcast time once again with your faithful hosts, Oubliette Sparks from Tsunami Bomb and myself, Screaming
Hi.
E from the Memphis Murder Men. And tonight we're going to discuss Destroy All Neighbors, which is perfect because we're both in bands, in both musicians, and there are some definite truths in the movie. But
And we've both had neighbors before.
yes, neighbors. But before we get into any of that, it's time to talk a little bit about some horror news.
Oh no, those boops. That's some horror news right there.
Yeah,
I was just gonna pour one out for Shotzi's ACL.
well, that happens in that life, the wrestling
That
life.
it does. That
Um,
it does. I mean, I hurt myself just playing like 6 or 7 shows a year, so in a band on a stage where I
yeah,
don't
it's
have
tough,
to do anything like wrestling,
even for
but
like professional athletes that are conditioning and doing all that shit. That stuff happens, and it's a very fine
Yeah.
line. So, but anywho, horror news. What do you got?
yes. So I've got 3 little small guys,
Little
and they're
tiny
all
dudes.
kind of like, yeah, little ones, and they're all kind of like big name things.
Okay.
So one, Zach Kreger, who did Barbarian,
Yes.
he's doing a new movie called Weapons, and Pedro Pascal was supposed to be one of the
Yep.
main characters in it, but because of like the strikes and everything, people's schedules are getting super fucked, and now Pedro's doing one of the Marvel movies, Fantastic Four.
Or yeah.
So so it sounds like Josh Brolin's gonna move into that.
Which I like
And
Josh
honestly,
Brolin better.
like I like them both, but I mean, and I don't know what the role is, so I can't really say which one would do better, but like I love Josh Brolin. Lately, he's been making some really good decisions, and he's just been a pleasure to watch on screen. So
Yeah,
I'm here for it.
I
And
like
I
Josh Brolin
didn't
as
hate
well.
Barbarian.
Yeah, we didn't hate it. So
Mm-mm.
we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, so I'm kind of interested to see. Um, so the next one is the Coen brothers, broke up for a while and were
Mhm.
doing their own movies. Driveway Dolls actually just came out, which is, I think, Ethan's. They announced that they are getting back together and they are doing another horror
and
movie.
it feels so good.
Exactly.
That'll be fun.
So they have a completed script. It's an original script, not based on any other properties.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's
they
crazy.
said it is, yeah, I know. Who would have thought?
I know.
And they said that it is straight up horror. Horror, 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 horror. So they're real, I mean, they're kind of hit and miss with me.
Yeah.
I love some of the stuff they've done, and I'm kind of meh about
I mean, they can all be
others.
winners, so I get it.
No, but the stuff they get good, they really get good. Like I really enjoyed "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou."
Yeah, that was a good one.
I enjoyed a few of theirs, so I'm curious to see where they go with this. And it also made me look up and see that their first movie ever was a horror movie, which I was talking to E about earlier because I did not know that. So I want to go back and check that one out too.
Yeah, it's weird, just like how directors and writers and stuff that put out things that you never really hear about or know about and then you're like, oh shit, they did that. Like, what's his name? Todd Phillips doing
Hmm.
Hated, the G.G. Allen
Yeah.
documentary, and then from old school, you're like, wait, what? Seriously? And I mean, that. I've owned Hated for ever and just never even put the two together until I
Right.
saw an article and I was like, motherfucker, huh? Wow, that's crazy. So,
Which is actually funny because the movie we're about to talk about, I was looking up what he had done before, and he
uh-huh.
had done like a Carly Rae Jepsen music video and
Yeah.
like like a whole bunch of random other stuff. So, which is funny. But
Hmm.
I mean, being well-rounded is good. So the last one I found interesting, and I want to like I hope he does it because I feel like he would really go all out. But Christopher Nolan just did an interview, and in that interview, he was kind of talking about how much he really wants to do horror and he loves horror movies.
Right.
And he was kind of saying in Oppenheimer, he was like dipping his toe in because which I haven't seen it, so I don't know, but kind of one of the acts in that movie, with the bomb going off and everything, he said that he tried to really pull from a lot of classic horror movies and just
Hmm.
the way it was. I don't know.
Yeah, I haven't
I'll
seen it,
eventually watch
but
it. It's just really hard to get me to watch a 3 hour long movie
yeah, that
because
is
it's
long.
just a
Long.
lot. So I may break it up into like 3 1 hour episodes of shows. It's funny because I can sit on the couch and watch 3 hour long episodes of a show. If you tell me it's one movie that's 3 hours, that really
Yeah.
just bums me the fuck out.
That's
Like
different because
I,
they
I
kind of
want to
have,
make that choice because I want to,
yeah, they kind of
not
have
because I
like
feel like I have to.
little mini intermissions too. So, it gives you 10 seconds in
Yeah.
between the episodes. You're like, oh, okay, I'll pause it and fucking get up and go do
Well,
whatever.
then you can pause it and do
Yeah.
other things. Yeah. But yeah, there's nothing on the books, but he said that he really wants to delve into horror soon and go like full classic horror.
That'd be good.
I mean, it's something that could be a complete piece of shit and, kind of over the top, but I have to say like for as big as the movies he's done are, to me at least, it doesn't have a lot of ego to it, if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
I mean, it does because they're strong movies, but there's other directors you see that get in these big blockbusters and everything, and they start getting real sloppy and they kind of get egotistical and
Right.
they like try to pull off things that they really can't. I feel like Christopher Nolan makes very conscious decisions on what he wants to do,
Or just stop
and
giving a
he
fuck.
executes them really well.
Yeah.
Right. So, I think that if he did a horror movie, I mean, I would definitely check it out and it could be fucking epic and awesome.
Yeah. Could be cool. I'd be interested in see how that goes. And more
That's all I
classic,
got.
more classic type stuff would be great, which kind of leads me into some of my horror news, and that is so Caleb Landry Jones is going to be playing Dracula in the new upcoming origin story from Luke Besson. Um, we'll see how that goes. It's supposed to focus on
Interesting.
Dracula's life and relationship with his wife, like the beginning.
I
So
mean, he's got that almost like weird Nordic, like some of the Skarsgård brother have
definitely.
kind of look.
Hmm.
And he also in some of his stuff plays kind of androgynous. I
Hmm.
mean, I think that really works for Dracula. So I could see him doing really well on that. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, I'll see it, but our hopes are never usually that high anymore.
totally. It's like that half creepy ick vibe and half like, is he really hot? Like,
Yeah.
I'm not
You're
sure.
like,
But I think
interesting. I'm
I
intrigued and
but
confused.
I think that's like I think that's like always the vampire thing. Like you look at like
Hmm.
Interview with the Vampire and even like the old ones, it's always this kind of like deep sex appeal with like a lot of like, wait, is this just super icky and are they just like weird like creeps?
For sure. For sure. Um,
Which is it? But I want to find out.
maybe it's both.
Except for
Uh,
Gary Oldman and Dracula, and then that was
right,
just all good.
right. Agreed.
Even the Beast, I don't even care. Every version of Dracula was hot in that. The old man, the monster,
Hmm.
Beast, whatever. The bat.
Yeah. Yes. The Bat
I
Beast,
would date them
Wolf
all. I'm
Beast.
fine. I'm with them all.
I mean, the Fifth Element was cool, so we'll see how he does. I don't know.
The Fifth Element?
Yeah, Lou Besson did Fifth
Oh,
Element.
he's the one who did it.
Hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah. But that also leads me into another bit of Dracula news is so Stephen King, who's fucking crazy at this point. I mean, he's always been crazy, but he's just
Oh, I
man
saw some of this.
manic Twitters. Uh, but so he
Yes.
tweeted
Yes.
X'd
So weird.
about Nosferatu and was like, "Hey, between you and me, Twitter, I've seen it and it's great, and I don't know why they're not putting it out." Which,
I
yeah,
thought that was Salem's Lot.
or Salem's Lot. Yeah.
Okay.
Uh,
I
yeah.
was like,
Why?
God damn it, he did it twice.
No, Salem's Lot. Yeah. So like, come on, put it out. But word is that they might end up just dumping the whole thing.
Completely?
Yeah, which would
What
be
in the
yeah,
world?
because was it Warner Brothers doing it?
But
Yeah,
why? I mean, it's done. It's
I
filmed,
don't
right?
know. Yeah.
It's in the can.
Hmm.
Why would they just, I mean, is there somebody who was like diddling kids and it's going to come out?
That's
Like
exactly
it
what I
had to be
thought.
something huge.
It has to be
Like it's got to be
because
somebody about to get in trouble and they're like, nope, we can't do
hmm
this. We got to
that's
look at that cast. 'Cause there's
yep.
somebody in there doing some bad shit
Yeah.
or a
Yeah.
lawsuit waiting to happen that's like
Something.
under wraps or some like paying someone off. Like,
Yeah, it's so weird because it was supposed to come out last year, then April or what, mid-April or late April this year, and now it's just been completely put in the can and they're not giving anything. And then some are
yeah.
speculating it's going to go streaming, but there's not even any word on that. And when stuff like that happens, I'm thinking, okay, exactly what you said. I'm like, there's someone's in some legal problems and they're
Right.
not
Like I
sure what to
remember
do
it
with
was
it.
supposed to come out like the same week as Evil Dead Rises or
Hmm.
something. So they were like, no, we're going to change the date. And I was like, that's probably a great idea because who would want to compete, you know?
Yeah.
But
But apparently Warner Brothers has been into that, just fucking tossing it instead of putting it out and losing a bunch of money, more money than they already had lost.
let's see.
So,
Yeah, so it was in the can and edited in 2021.
and if Stephen King keeps saying he's actually saw it and it's good, which he's fucking crazy. So I don't know if
But he
it
said
actually
a
is
few
good.
things are good. He
Right,
was happy
exactly.
with Boogeyman, and that
Yeah,
was a pile of shit. I know it's his son's story, but like, come on, that movie was
right.
a pile of shit.
Yeah,
Shit.
yeah. So that I'm interested to see what comes out of that because to just have it disappear and not say a word about it is
That's
fucking
so
weird.
weird.
So
And it's so
weird.
expensive. It's so
Hmm.
expensive. Like just put it out to streaming and get something out of it.
Well, like what was that? What movie was Brendan Fraser in? Was it Catwoman or Batgirl? Batgirl. That they had
I
there's
don't
a
know. I know Nick Cage was Superman.
yeah, no, there was a Batgirl movie made and I forget who did it. He talks about it on uh
But was it actually all the
some
way
interview.
made?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure it was made and they just never put it out. And he was
Mm,
like, I was so fucking happy about that movie, like so proud of it. I thought it was so good and everything, and they're just not releasing it ever for whatever reason.
oh yeah, Brendan Fraser was Firefly.
Yeah. So that stuff like
And it
that
had
just
Michael Keaton as Batman.
yep. I'm like,
Oh,
what
they
what
used it as a $90 million tax write-off.
mm-hmm. Yeah. So shit like that is annoying. But which also brings me back to old classic stuff. So these documentaries that I've been watching on Tubi, like old sci-fi documentaries and horror documentaries, they'll show all these old TV spots or like movie trailers. Dude, they used to be so fucking rad with like the text just flying
Hmm.
up. Shocking, terrifying. That stuff was so fucking cool, and they need to start doing that again. It was just so much fun. Like I know in the
Yeah.
80s that, the voice came in. It was a dark night when blah 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 happened, or
Yeah.
explosions or something for action stuff. Like I get it, but just watching all that old stuff is so fucking cool and exciting and fun. I don't know why. I mean,
Yeah.
I guess Quentin Tarantino would do it when he would do like the Grindhouse stuff. So I guess
Hmm.
some kind of put it in there, but man, with as much shit is just regurgitated nowadays, dip back into the well because kids are young and they don't fucking know. They don't go any further back than like the 90s. So they'll be like, "Oh my God, that's cool. I've never seen that before. It's a new thing." Like, no, it's not, you stupid. Um, but yeah, so
Yeah.
that's all
Stupid
my horror news.
kids.
Stupid
Stupid
kids.
kids.
You got anything else?
No.
All right. Well, that's been horror
Meow,
news.
meow, meow.
All right. Destroy all neighbors. Let me read the little synopsis. I can't even say this genre of music without laughing, but I'll try.
Frog.
Struggling prog rock
Frog.
musician William Brown finds himself in a living nightmare when he accidentally kills Vlad, the neighbor from hell, which starts it all off. Played by Alex Winter, which I didn't know. I saw him doing a bunch of press, like horror press, and I had no idea why because I wasn't reading any of the headlines or anything about it. I would just see his picture. I'm like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. And then after I watched it, I realized I saw an article about him being in. I'm like, what? Did he direct it or something? And then I went back. I was like, oh no, he was Vlad. And I'm like, that makes perfect fucking sense. Yes,
Wait, who was Vlad?
Alex Winters, Bill and Ted, Lost Boys,
That makes so much
right?
sense. Even the way he moves and
Yeah.
shakes his head, like when he's the vampire in Lost Boys and shaking his head, like
Uh-huh.
tormenting Michael, like it's the same shit.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That blew
How
my mind.
funny. Ah,
But
totally. No, I hadn't looked at the cast yet. That is fucking hilarious.
yeah, Alex Winter. I was like, okay,
Oh,
his whole
that's too
character through
funny.
it. I, if you, if anyone's seen, which I'm sure they have, any of the Bill and Ted movies, especially the last one where they're in like muscle suits and in all the prosthetics, I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
okay, that's obviously him. And it made this movie very Bill and Ted
No,
like.
totally.
Um,
Yep. No,
that's
totally. Even like some of the inflections and the words he says, like
100%.
yeah,
Want to
that
start
makes so much
off
sense now.
with what we liked about it?
Um, sure.
Okay. I mean, I already said it was very Bill and Ted, which I love the Bill and Ted movies. Even the last one I liked. And it reminded me a lot of Studio 666
Yeah.
just because it has to do with
No, for sure,
musicians.
but
Yeah.
better.
Yeah, it definitely just more slapsticky, fucking goofy and silly. And as I already alluded to, the whole I do love the way these movies pinpoint on the ridiculousness of being a musician or being in a band or having to be in a recording studio with certain personalities like
Yes,
like
that fucking piece of shit.
Caleb Bang Jansen. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, I make songs people want to fuck to. I'm like, yeah, dude, I get it. And then John
Yeah.
Daly, Swig Anderson, the bass
Hmm.
prog rock virtuoso. I'm like, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
those, as ridiculous as those people are, they
They're real.
are real, 100%.
I've met them. They're
Yeah.
real.
Oh yeah. And I mean, some of those attributes might even be beholden to the two people speaking here tonight, but you know, everyone can get ridiculous talking about the doing ketamine and underwear in the studio. Um, but I love that. I think that's hilarious. I thought I as I was watching it, obviously I started to see all the cast, but I mean it had a lot of fucking people. First of all, Alex Winter, it had what's his nuts? Dangle from Reno 911.
And Thomas Lennon
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
from Reno 911, and it had Kumail Nanjiani. Is that how you say his name?
Uh,
Nanjiani.
yes. Yeah. And it had dude
He
fucking
was the guard.
mm-hmm. Randy Heller, fucking Ralph Macchio's mom, Daniel LaRusso's mom from Karate Kid.
What?
Yeah. She was the fucking landlord lady.
Oh shit, it
Mm-hmm.
was?
Mm-hmm.
I totally didn't even pick up on that.
Me either in the beginning.
That part was sad.
Yeah. She was a good lady and funny. But yeah, I was like,
Good old bag.
she looks fucking familiar, but you know, at some point in life when you see so many people, everyone looks familiar. You're like, "Hey, where did I see them somewhere?" And then I was looking at the cast, I was like, oh shit, that's right. And just a bunch of people throughout it. Comedian John Daly, who plays Swig Anderson.
Yep.
So I mean, that was good. I thought the characters were actually pretty funny. Jonah Ray, the lead actor, who is a complete like he's a musician. You get these his relationship. I'm like, that's
So he is a musician?
well in the movie. I don't know if he is
Okay.
actually,
Gotcha.
but like
Yeah, sorry.
in there, you're like, yeah. If we haven't been in some relationships like that, we've seen relationships like that where it's like
Oh, God.
the band guy is either completely absorbed with his music and doing his thing and is like completely struggling, and there's always one person that has something together and then the other person doesn't, right?
Yeah, there's the artist and
Right.
the person and
The
the
straight.
professional.
Yep. And then it's like they did a good job on making him like completely selfish, even when she's talking to him about something and she says something about the music and then a critique after it about just him not fucking following through and him being the problem for his own problems. And he's like, what? My music was good? Like he only focused on the part that involved his music.
Him.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
I'm like, yeah. But then also for her that like just doesn't understand when someone has a passion for something. And it's like, dude, I have to finish this. I don't care if I don't make money or if it's not like whatever. Like this is my thing and I love it. And
that fool was never going to finish that album.
never. But
Never.
so I mean that was
Never. We all know that story.
Yeah.
It's the writer with writer's block. That
Uh-huh.
he cares so much about the fucking half a chapter he wrote
Yeah.
that he keeps rewriting, so he can't start the next chapter.
But it's funny that they made it prog rock. So that's how you know it's never gonna get never gonna get done.
Right. You know it's never gonna get done because legit, like that's how. So just for viewers, if you or listeners, if you don't know many people into prog rock, they either
Good.
will just be like super fucked up and jamming and then be like, oh fuck, we didn't record that. That's the best song ever. Or
Right.
they're loners and they sit in their apartment alone recording like 40 tracks on one song of just like really boring noise with like a couple like effect pedals on their guitar, and like it's not actually a song, like nothing makes sense. It's not pleasant to listen to.
No.
They do like these technical things that they think are cool but don't fit in the song, but they're really proud of when they play it for people.
Yeah.
It's like it's atrocious. It's awful. I can't think of one prog rock song that's like passable because they're really not at all ever passable.
Ever.
And people who love prog love saying prog. Like they will make sure
it's progressive
in their conversation they
you just
drop
don't
it
get
in like, oh yeah, like and prog rock. And then like, yeah, I was listening to this prog band and bought this prog shirt, and it's just it's a thing. It's like, you know, vegans or CrossFitters.
Definitely. Well, it's a totally akin to
But different.
jazz fusion or experimental jazz. We just play a bunch of notes that nothing goes together. But man, don't you like feel it? No, because it's fucking horrible to listen to. No, man, you just don't understand. Sure.
Yeah, if you guys have ever watched The Mighty Boosh and like
Yeah.
Harold's character, it's exactly like that, except for like way less lovable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Definitely more
can listen
on
to
the
some
annoying side.
jazz funk.
Yeah, no, no, no.
Oh,
But yeah, I mean, it
yeah.
was, and it was fun. I thought it was fun. It was gory, which was good. I did enjoy Vlad,
hmm
and it makes all the sense in the world why I did enjoy Vlad so much is because it was Alex
I
Winter.
know. Now I
I'm
know
like,
why I
yeah,
loved it. I mean, I knew I
yeah,
loved him otherwise, but now that you said
right.
that, I'm like, oh, duh. Even the way he moves his hands and his
Yeah,
stature, like it's so him.
yeah. I was like, man, he's so good. This character's kind of hilarious. I don't know why I like him so much. And then I'm like, oh, yeah, that's why.
I mean, it was just also so good. Like the the fucking like chappy hat and the tracksuit and the gold chains and the,
Yeah.
you know, in my country sort of attitude.
The
I could
Euro,
really relate to
the
him.
fucking Euro trash disco
hmm
in the
hmm
discotheques. Yeah. Yep.
hmm
Yeah. We've all, I mean, maybe not all of us, but we've definitely known people.
He was definitely like Chechnyan.
Yeah. Eastern Bloc. Oosh, 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 oosh.
hmm
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. What what did you like about it, Oubliette?
It was a pleasant surprise. So, I guess like when it came out on Shudder, you mentioned it being worth watching, or like you gave like one of your weird suggestions that wasn't a full suggestion, like, oh, so
Uh-huh.
I watched this movie, like it wasn't bad,
Yeah.
which is e-speak for like you should check this out.
Yeah, I think I might have
Um,
even said something like, "Oh, it's ridiculous."
yeah, I don't
Yeah.
remember. And then I think Mikey T mentioned watching it
hmm
and was like, that was a lot of fun. So I was like, okay. And then yeah, last weekend I was looking for something to put on. And actually, I think it was my husband who was like, I want to watch something silly. And I was like, great, I'll put this on. And it's a bummer because he was tired. He fell asleep instantly and didn't watch it. And I actually think he would have really enjoyed this movie. And I was like, oh, for once, I actually played something that you
You
wouldn't
fell asleep, you son of a
um,
bitch.
like hold resentment for me for later. Um, but yeah, I liked the pacing of it. I liked that it was ridiculous.
hmm
Um, it definitely reminded me of Bill and Ted's, but it also reminded me, like of some of the movies you and I were talking about earlier, it reminds me of almost like a more progressed, like Meet the Feebles, Dead Alive sort of
Oh
style
yeah,
movie and the ridiculousness
yeah.
of it. And I miss stuff like that coming out because like a lot of stuff that tries is just like way too low budget and shitty. They got some really good actors in this one, so it was really funny.
Yeah.
And yeah, like it was just over the top. And I went in completely blind. I didn't read the synopsis. I didn't read anything.
Yep.
So I thought it was like from I mean, I saw the cover of it because I played it on Shudder. So
hmm
the cover of it, I thought it was going to be like Kids versus Aliens, or like even maybe like Turbo Kid, or like
Right,
one of
right.
those movies that's just, um, but once I saw like the prosthetics
Uh-huh.
and the gore, I was like, okay. And I put my phone down and was like, I'm gonna watch, like, I'm gonna pay attention now
Oh
because
yeah.
that's fun. And
Yeah. Definitely made for adults, whereas like Kids versus Aliens was like a cute movie.
yeah, for sure. And from like the first time when he like actually goes into Vlad's apartment and that whole scene of him not really killing him because he kind of killed himself, but was just so fucking ridiculous. And
Yeah.
like, I love the movies where you have these characters that for a time you don't know if like they're a hallucination or if they're actually real.
Right.
Um, and this was one of them. So like he dismembers Vlad and he's just in this like garbage bag thing or whatever, but he still keeps talking to him. And so you're not really sure, like, is he just losing his mind and everyone he's killed, like he kills is talking to him, or is this some like supernatural crazy shit and he has this like band of dead people, dead army that are like
Well,
helping
yeah,
him out. And
I
like
mean,
honestly, I'm good with either.
yeah, well, both kind of, because there's some scenes
Yeah.
where the living people obviously, at least from my view, don't see the dead people because they're not reacting to them at all, or even anything,
Right.
any of the dialogue they're saying. But the dead people kill them. And then in the one scene with
Right.
Caleb Bang Jansen and
Oh God.
Dangle, there's actually like a fight between a bunch of dead people and them. So I was like, what is going on? Which is part of the charm of the movie. You're like, what? What the fuck? Like, I don't know what's
But
going
I
on.
mean, some movies do that, and then it's like the main person and it's
Right,
just their psyche. Like they've
right, right.
created these like other parts of them, and it's like a multiple personality thing. Like
Like a
they've
Fight
taken
Club
on
type
these,
thing.
and yeah, kind
Yeah.
of. Sure, yeah. Um, but I don't know. I thought it was just super silly, super fun. Yeah, the comedic pacing was great. Now that I know that it was Bill Esquire,
Yes, Bill S. Preston. Yeah,
Bill
I
S.
enjoyed
Preston,
it.
that's what it is.
Yeah, I didn't
Um,
know anything about it. I just saw people talking about it and I saw it on Shudder, but I mean, let's be honest. I wouldn't even say it's like hit or miss with Shudder originals. It's mostly miss. And then every
yeah,
once in a while
it
you get
is.
like a good one. And I was like, oh, man, I don't really want to watch this, but I'm going to. And then it
Right.
started off and it's like, oh, okay. Oh, this is gonna be funny and like very slapsticky and crude, which I liked. So
Hmm.
yeah, I agree. It was definitely a pleasant surprise because yeah, there's been a lot of duds on Shudder,
I
other
also
Shudder lately.
enjoy that, like, before we did this, I looked up a bunch of different articles about it. Um, and like maybe 5 out of 10 don't say prog rock, they say prong rock.
Wrong. They're like, prove you. Do,
And
do, prove
and
you
the
wrong.
reason that makes me like really happy is because I know some like prog rock fools are
Yeah,
gonna come across those websites. And I cannot explain to you guys the level of piss they're gonna be when they see that.
probably.
Because that's the kind of people they are. They're gonna see that and be like, oh, how would they not know? Like it's
Yeah.
gonna be a thing. Like right now, there's probably like 100 of them on one of those sites, like pissed about it, writing a letter, like
It's
to,
prog rock.
yeah,
Yeah.
progressive, don't you understand? So
We
that
transcend
makes me happy
notes.
too.
Yeah. And melody and
Yeah.
anything good about musical tone.
Yeah, there's no melody. Yeah.
No,
Melody does not exist in prog rock.
no. And it's not a long movie, although this is one of the things I didn't like about it is it feels way
Hmm.
longer than it is because it has that like
Interesting.
three-quarters of the way through. So if anyone hasn't seen this movie yet, it's basically about this guy who's trying to finish his prog rock album and he's looking for like the perfect song and all the and to finish this whatever. And eventually he gets through it and he creates it with his merry band of dead people that he has not intentionally killed, but are now dead and kind of backing him. And there's a bunch of shenanigans. But it's like that last little bit drags for me, like when they're locked up and he's kind of creating and they're playing in the band and the cops are there outside. I'm just like,
Oh, yeah.
like it just drags on a little bit there. And I thought it was like,
It
man, is
does,
this
but it
movie
had
like,
to happen, I think.
yeah, it all makes sense. So I get it. It just, it's only an hour and 20 minutes long, hour and 25 minutes long, but it feels like it's an hour and 45 minutes long. So that little drag seems like it adds a little bit of time on there, which in reality it doesn't, just seems that way. But that was like my only negative really. Other than that, like I
Hmm.
just think it's a fun movie and funny movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. I'd I'd agree the end was a little meh, but it did need to happen for the story.
Right. Definitely a
And then I just
necessity.
hated what the fuck is the guy's name in the studio? I hated him.
Dangle.
I know he needed to be there, but I
Yeah,
just wish like and I, honestly
Scott.
he got he got what was coming, but I wish it would have been more.
Yeah, yeah, I thought that was a little anticlimactic, his death and everything for doing
Hmm.
um William so dirty for uh Banger
Yeah.
Banger Jansen.
Hmm. Yes.
But
Yes,
I
yes.
love that character too. He's just doing ketamine and just underwear and just being a
Oh
complete
yeah. No, totally.
fucking
I would have
insane
liked to have
jerk.
seen Danny McBride play him.
Yeah, that'd be good. That would have been
Maybe
real good.
that's why I don't like him as much because like he reminds me just
Yeah,
a hair of Danny McBride, and now I want
enough.
Danny McBride to be that guy.
Yeah,
Can you guys listen to this and reshoot the
I
movie with Danny McBride, please?
think that would be good.
Because he would be so good. I feel like, and it's funny because he was vulgar and whatever, but I feel like it needed to be more like
Eastbound and
it needed
Down.
to be somebody with the kind of execution as Danny
Yeah,
McBride. Like I'm gonna fuck you in the ass with a baseball bat and
yeah,
like whatever.
100%.
Just like because he says so much like unhinged, random, threatening things that don't even make sense, and you have to
Right.
go back and be like, wait, what did he just fucking say
Yeah,
say
yeah.
to him?
Now that you mention it, I totally see
Like
that.
was one of his like this dick isn't gonna snort itself. Like all of his lines in that were just like so good that I feel like this guy was too straight-laced for it, and like I want more McBride
More
dialogue.
McBride. Yeah. Yeah, that's funny.
Just like randomness.
I didn't notice, but now that you say it, yeah, he's enough like Danny McBride as far as just like being in the sphere of characters like that or actors that can play
Well,
people like that. That
and the
it,
studio owner, the guy from Reno 911 and what was it, Kids in the Hall,
Mhm.
right? Or with the state, yeah. He was saying some unhinged and weird shit.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Just and like improvisational, but I feel like the other guy wasn't. I feel like if he would have like leveled up a little bit, that all those scenes could have been just fucking ridiculous as Wad. And
Yeah,
that's the
yeah.
thing, like you're playing off of somebody like that guy kind of, yeah, bring
100%.
Danny McBride in.
And I knew of Vlad once from Bulgaria. He was dating my friend
How did that
Jenny.
work out?
He was nuts. We played, I mean, this was years ago. We played at Reggie's, and that's where my friend Jenny
Hmm.
lives. And she went to the Art Institute in Pittsburgh, and that's how I knew her. She's like from there too. So I've known her since she was like,
Hmm.
since we were like 16. She used to ride BMX as well. Anyway, she moved back to Chicago and then was dating this guy, Vlad, the crazy Bulgarian.
It
Um,
already sounds bad.
it was nuts. Oh, they were just like, it was just drugs all the time. Let's do drugs. But anyway, she's like, yeah, because she would always come see the shows back home. And anytime we go to Chicago, and she was like, yeah, yeah, you guys can crash at our place. And we're like, all right, fucking sweet. And,
Hmm.
you know, he's just up all night doing coke and drinking and being Bulgarian and just fucking insane. And he kept on calling himself Vlad the Inhaler because they go out and like smoke cigarettes or smoke weed. And he's just,
Oh,
but he's like
I
this,
thought you meant because of the cocaine.
yeah, or that. I mean, that fits too. But they were smoking. We were talking about weed at the time, and he just said, "Call me Vlad the Inhaler." Like, all right, but he's this like tall, skinny, fucking like 20 something year old kid at the time, just off his fucking rocker and just being crazy and weird. And you're like, man, is this all going to turn like it's one of those moments where you have where someone's being so crazy gacked out on everything that you're like, just when is this going to go south?
Right.
Because the energy is so just erratic and crazy that it can't not go south. But surprisingly, it never
Yeah,
did.
I hung out with a lot of BMXers in Austin that did a lot of cocaine
Yeah.
for a while. Some of them were for Eastern European.
Yeah. So, but Vlad checks
There
out
were
the
many
name.
times it went from like, this is fun to like, wait, is this fun to I should I
Oh
should
yeah.
probably not be here.
Yeah,
I don't
definitely.
want to go to prison. So I'm gonna go.
Yeah. Yeah, we were waiting for something to go. We were like, dude, do we want to go? Like, do we want to go to sleep? Because he's just it's 4 in the morning, like, after the show, and he's still going. Everyone's like, all right, we gotta get out of here tomorrow at some point to get to wherever we're going next. And he's just up and still going and just knocking shit over and being crazy. But Vlad's
That
check
sounds
out.
fun.
Yeah. Eastern European Vlads. Be careful. They seem like a good time until they're not. Um,
And this movie is proof.
it's definitely proof. Yeah. But I don't know. I mean, you want to rate it?
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, I'm gonna give it. And this
2.75.
is that what you're giving it? It's not what I'm giving it. I didn't love it that much. But it is a 2. I'm giving it a 2 Eastern European crazy Vladdy candy corns. And it's not indicative of me not liking it or me just thinking it's okay. Like, it's fun, but it's just like a fun, silly movie that you can kind of put on and just leave on. Like, I've watched it, I don't know, 3 times already. Once I
Jesus
watched,
Christ. You're
well,
giving it a 2 and you've watched it 3 fucking times,
well,
you
not because,
psychopath.
not
You
because I,
fucking psycho. What the fuck is wrong with you?
not
What
because
is
I
wrong
wanted
with
to.
you?
The first time I watched it, it
What
was
do you
just,
mean? You're a human. You have
listen,
choice.
listen,
Like,
listen.
you
The
make
first,
a
the first time I
decision.
watched it, I put it on,
So
and it
fucking
was
weird.
one
You're
of those
awful.
deals where,
You're an awful human.
you're on your phone. So I kind
So
of was like
bad.
half paying attention to it. And then I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I don't understand this movie. Did I miss something? And obviously I did because I was on my phone. Then I watched it a second time and I'm like, okay, everything makes more sense. And then just a little, I had it on while we've been doing this. So like 3 times, but I don't know. It's just fun. I think people should watch it. I'm glad it exists. It's enjoyable for
I'm
sure.
gonna give it a 2, even though I spent 6 hours of my life watching it.
Which I think it's a perfect score. It's definitely, I don't know, man. It's like, I could see how some people would like absolutely lose their shit and love this movie
Yeah.
for
I mean,
sure.
this honestly like has the makings of like a cult kind of
Yeah.
film with
Hmm.
that kind of fandom. I don't know if it will get there, but it could. I wouldn't be surprised if it did.
I think it should.
Yeah, with that too.
With that too.
Maybe you should re-rate it after you after you watch it the third, fourth, and fifth time.
Yeah,
Or,
maybe.
sorry, fourth, fifth, and sixth time.
We'll
Right?
see. We'll see how that goes. But no, it's definitely, it's like an easy watch, but it's not something I'd necessarily want to rent. Jesus Christ, I'm old. It's not something I'd want to
Where did that
own
come from?
necessarily. I don't know. Because I'm
Well,
old.
you can rent on
This
Amazon
is
Prime. It's like 99 cents.
shit until they're like, all right, you don't rent it anymore, and it's gone. And owning it and renting, it's like the same thing at this point. You
But
can
renting
own,
it's 24 hours.
yeah, but you can own something, and they're like, okay, you own it for a little bit until we decide for some reason we're gonna pull that
That
movie,
you don't
and then
anymore.
you don't own it. You're like, what the fuck? So that's weird.
Mm-hmm.
But anything to make a buck, I guess.
That's true.
Yeah. What are you giving it, Oobs?
I mean, give me a minute, okay? Stop staring at me.
Stop looking at me, Swan. Do, 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 do,
I mean,
do, do,
I feel like it deserves a little more than a 2. I actually thought you were gonna get
do.
higher.
I mean, it.
I was gonna go 2.5, but now I don't know. Mhm.
I mean, 2 point. I agree with that as well. It all just came down to, would I buy this movie to have it? And it was a no. It was fun to watch, but I don't necessarily need to own it or watch it again. So I'm like, definitely enjoyable, fun, just not owning worthy for me.
I only own one movie in physical form anymore.
Not I.
I own E.T. the Kill. Well, I own E.T. the Killer in 3 different versions. And I don't know why I just won't get rid of those DVDs because I had to like hunt them down to get them.
I mean, I don't disagree with that
I'm never
decision.
gonna watch them again. I don't even have a DVD player, so like, I don't know why. And I've got some burned DVDs I need to like fucking throw out. But
Well,
it's a digital world.
it is.
Digital world.
I'm fighting it every
Well, I
step
got
of the
my
way.
vinyls, my vinyl records, and my
Yeah.
digital movies.
So it's averaging out to like a DVD in theory.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I do have an entire room in my house of vinyl records, which are mostly my husband's. I think I only have like 50, but no, I'm serious. I have very, very few. I'm minimalist, but that guy has like fucking probably 10,000 in there. It's ridiculous.
I do enjoy the
We retire,
vinyl.
we're selling all that shit to
Yeah.
retire.
I just do not enjoy the storage of them. So I get it.
Yeah, I understand that. We have like an entire nice room that we just dedicated to it. So there's that.
Yep. Yeah. It's always good. And moving them would always just make me insane. Like, oh my God. All of these. So what? You're giving it 2.5 candy corns?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that averages out to 2.25. Vladdy, Eastern European, evil, but good, but maybe not so good candy corns, which I agree. I mean, I wouldn't oppose someone liking it even more. Like we said, it's a good time to watch, and I encourage people to watch it, especially if you like all that, like really silly slapstick, Dead Alive type horror with lots of gore and just silly gore that doesn't even make any sense. Then this would be the movie for you. So yeah.
It would.
And, yeah. Anything else to add before we get out of here?
Yeah. Don't start looking up prog rock. Don't be in a jam band. Please don't make us your gateway to that. Find it on your own if that's fucking the path you're gonna take. But don't fucking look it up right now. Just do it later.
And if you do, don't blame us. Yeah.
Because we are not supporting that
at all. At all.
Not even a smidgen. Not even like a fucking glimmer. Not
even like it's it's fun. You should check it out. This is horrible. Don't ever listen to prog rock or go to seek it out.
Don't do it. Join a fucking reggaeton band. Be a rapper. Fucking play accordion polka. That's awesome.
Yes.
Get a cool suit. Do mariachi. Cool. Yeah. Anything you want, but don't do the prog rock or jam band thing. Nobody needs that in their life. No one.
There you go. With that being said, thanks again for tuning in to another episode of Monster Candy Podcast, and we will check you dickholes out later. Cool. That's funny.
says, "Get away from her, you bitch!"
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Your move, creep.
Listen to them. Children of the night. What music they make.
Want some candy?